Have you ever wondered how you'd explain something massive, something incredibly complex, to someone for the very first time? Well, today, we're going to do just that. We're going to deconstruct the entire world of transportation. But we're not using some dense textbook. Nope. We're using a simple school project as our guide. And honestly, it's a surprisingly brilliant blueprint for learning just about anything. So, let's dive in. Okay, so it all boils down to this one single question. How would you do it? How do you explain everything from a simple bicycle all the way to a massive cargo ship to a 10-year-old without their eyes just glazing over? A school project for fifth graders in India took on this exact challenge, and the way they solved it is, well, it's just incredibly smart. So let's do it. Let's walk through this blueprint together. We're going to see how it takes this gigantic topic and chops it up into simple, easy-to-understand pieces. And listen, this isn't just about how kids learn. This is basically a masterclass in how any of us can learn anything way more effectively. Every great explanation has to start at square one, right? The project doesn't just jump into bullet trains or jumbo jets. It starts with the most basic, most fundamental question you could ask. What are we even talking about here? And there it is. That's the definition. It's simple, it's crystal clear, and it covers everything. This is the foundation for everything that follows. No jargon, no confusing words, just the pure, simple idea of getting from point A to point B. Now, this is where it gets really clever. The very first move is to make that abstract definition relevant. The project immediately frames transport as the lifeblood of our world. It's how you get to school, it's how food shows up in the store, it's how an ambulance can reach someone who needs help. It connects the what directly to a kid's real life. Okay, so once the what and the why are locked in, the blueprint introduces its next big idea. You conquer complexity by putting things in boxes. It sorts the entire messy world of transport into three simple, totally unforgettable categories. First up, we've got the one we all know best, land. And look at the examples. They're straight out of a student's world in India. You've got the humble bicycle, the huge railway network, and of course the super modern metro systems zipping through the big cities. It's all so familiar and instantly makes sense. Next, we move to water. Again, the examples are so straightforward. Boats and ships. You notice how the project doesn't get stuck on the difference between a freighter and a tanker? It doesn't matter right now. It's just about establishing the core idea. These are the things that travel on our oceans, our rivers, and our lakes. Simple. And finally, we complete the map with air. Airplanes and helicopters. And just like that, the entire physical world of transport is neatly categorized. In just 3 quick steps, a student can now see any vehicle out in the world and mentally file it away into a logical framework. Land, water, or air. It's so simple, but so powerful. But you know, a really great explanation isn't just a snapshot of the present. And that brings us to the next principle. You have to give it some context. To really get something, you need to see how it came to be. So the project takes the students on this quick, fascinating trip from the past all the way to the present. This timeline just lays it all out so perfectly. You start with something traditional, like the bullet cart. Then you move to the game-changing power of trains during the industrial age. And then it brings us right up to today with high-tech metro systems and airplanes. It creates this amazing story of progress. And to make that story of progress really hit home, the project does this direct side-by-side comparison. It takes that abstract idea of progress and breaks it down into things you can actually measure: speed, capacity, and what kind of energy it uses. You put a bullet cart next to a metro train, and a student can physically grasp the enormous scale of that change. It's not just different, it's like a whole different world. So we've covered the what, the how, and the when. Now we get to maybe the most important part, connecting it all back to why. I mean, why do all these incredible systems even exist in the first place? The focus shifts back to the human purpose behind all this amazing technology. And this table just nails it. We move for 3 basic reasons: to get ourselves from place to place, to get our stuff from place to place, and to help people in emergencies. By sorting transport this way, it stops being about the machines and starts being about the tools we use to live our lives. And here it is. This is the secret sauce. The blueprint insists that learning is not a spectator sport. This little quote right here tells you everything about the project's philosophy. Get out there and see it for yourself. Don't just read about buses. Go watch them. It's all about turning the student from a passive reader into an active explorer. To wrap it all up, the project looks to the future. It doesn't just explain the world as it is right now, it gets students thinking about the world as it could be, tackling the very real challenges that we face with modern transportation. I absolutely love how this introduces sustainability. Did you notice the first two examples? Walking and cycling? It teaches that sometimes the most eco-friendly way to get around is also the simplest. It introduces this idea of personal choice and responsibility right from the get-go. This is just such a smart move, weaving practical, life-saving advice directly into the lesson. See, safety isn't some separate, boring topic. It's a core part of understanding how to use transport responsibly. And these rules are simple, they're actionable, and you know what? They could literally prevent an accident one day. And finally, the project makes sure all this learning really sticks by getting creative. By asking students to draw something, or build a collage, or make a model, it lets them process all this new information and express what they've learned in a really personal way. They aren't just memorizing facts, they're creating their own meaning. And this is where the blueprint leaves us. It doesn't end with an answer, it ends with a challenge. It asks its students to become the next generation of innovators and dreamers. So I'm going to leave you with that very same question. Now that we've seen how we got here, from the bullet cart to the EV, what comes next? What do you think our journey is going to look like in 50 years?